Hello and welcome to Moruga for the opening game of the Secondary Schools Football League between Fatima College and St. Benedict's College. We are here today at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. This might be a very new view to many of you watching here today. This facility was opened back on the 5th of August 2020, a 500-seater stadium and a multipurpose field for cricket, football, and many other sports. Great to have you here with us in Moruga. Fatima College will be playing in the blue, and they're up against St. Benedict's College in the green outfits. Fatima, their team today, they're starting with Elijah Noons, number 2. 3 is Jesse Hospitalis. 4, Johansi Atherton. 6, Jaden Williams. Keeper Romani is number 7. 9, Joshua Mason. 10, Aiden DeGans. 12, Chame Williams. 13, Christian Bailey. 14, Logan Mango. And in goal, Tristan Edwards, the number 40 on his back. There's the St. Benedict's College team as they head out from the Laramane Boys, as they're called. And we start off in goal, Thane Devonish, he has 22. And the rest of the team in front of him, Keanu Moraine, 4. Joshua Demas, 5. Nishawn Alexander, 6. Tariq Lee, 7. Jaden Grant, 9. Nicholas Bobcom, 10. Jeremiah Miles, 11. Josiah Ochoa, 12. LaShawn Morris, 19. Rayshawn Critchlow, 20, and Thane Devonish, as we mentioned, in goal. St. Benedict's College, one of the outstanding teams from South Trinidad, certainly many times in the shadow of the two giants from either side of the valley in San Fernando, Presentation College and, of course, Naparima College. But St. Benedict's have had in the past a very proud history. One remembers back in the 1970s, they were one of the dominant teams, and certainly one of the teams went under. The school was under the control of Dom Basil Matthews, the legendary principal, certainly one of the big favorites for secondary schools football, not only in South but in Trinidad. And certainly they left their mark, several of their players going on to play for national teams. As for Fatima, they have already been identified as one of the main threats for the title. Naparima College coach has already identified them as one of the possible threats to his team to retain the title. That is, of course, Travis Mulrain feels that the team led here by Hudson Charles as head coach will certainly be a threat. And what a team that they have. Many of the familiar names on this Fatima College team have played in the Tiger Tanks under 20 championships, which took place earlier this year. Familiar names on both sides for them. And one or two of the players would have been in contention. Some, in fact, made the final cut for the national under-20 team, which played at the CONCACAF under-20 championships earlier this year. They are the subs for Fatima College heading out there in Moruga. And what a facility this is. A great addition to sporting facilities in Moruga, all 9.25 acres of state land along the Moruga Main Road in the St. Mary's area, just about roughly St. Mary's. I know locals would disagree. It's kind of in between two of the bigger communities in Moruga. Moruga has, of course, produced quite a few outstanding sportsmen, and perhaps the most famous to come out of Moruga, Marissa Aguilera, the West Indies and Trinidad and Tobago captain from Marak, the very last town on the road after you go past Moruga. And not from very far from here also, the former Star World Strikers footballer and now football commentator James Saunders, also from not too far from here. So the team's just about getting ready to come out. It's Fatima College against St. Benedict's College here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. Just to mention, Hudson Charles, he will be leading the Fatima team. Russell Sutton is one of the assistant coaches, as well as Hisham Gomes. And Declan Squires is the goalkeeping coach. As for St. Benedict's College, also a star-studded bench, if you want to call it that way. Randolph Boyce, the head coach this year. Clint Macmillan, assistant coach. Rafi Ramgulam, the operations manager. And Listra Lara, the manager for administration. Terence Lewis, serves as the goalkeeping coach. St. Benedict's College, certainly many would still be mourning the loss of Nigel Neverson, the former national youth goalkeeper who passed away earlier this year just before the start of the Tiger Tanks under 20 competition. He was involved with one of the teams, tragically passed away at a very young age, and certainly it's one of those that will be missed. Outstanding goalkeeper from the 1990s, and certainly was a thorn in the side of many who would have played against him in South Intercol and South Zone for St. Benedict's. Wonderful goalkeeper he was. So that's the situation in terms of Fatima College and St. Benedict's College. The two benches out there already, and we're just about ready for the teams to head out there here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility, which, as I mentioned, has been used for cricket, and you can see the outlines of the cricket pitch in the center circle. That's going to make it a little bit difficult here, and as you would realize, we're in Moruga, and we have two teams, one from North Trinidad and another from South Trinidad, Southwest Trinidad, playing in the southeast of the country. Not sure how many of the Fatima College boys have seen this part of the country before, so it's going to be a new experience for them. And surprise for surprise, they are the home team, I'm told, for this one. So that's going to be a big surprise for them to see some parts of the country I'm sure they've never been to. So there will be that settling in factor. They arrived earlier today, and they will need some time to settle in at this new facility. Now, even though it's south, it's not a home game for St. Benedict's College by any means, but this is all part of the attempt made by the Secondary Schools Football League under the presidency of Mariri Gonzalez to spread football to different communities in Trinidad and Tobago. And certainly, Moruga has been one of those who has been starved over the years of secondary schools football. So great to see football here in Moruga. This is a Group A encounter. Group A composed of 8 teams, and outside of this fixture between the two teams that we have before us, in Benedict's College and Fatima College, it will be St. Augustine. They'll be hosting the champions Naparima today. Karapichaima will be up against Speyside High, and Pleasantville they'll have a tough assignment at home against St. Anthony's College. That's in Group A. Group B also there, some great games involved there. San Juan North, they will host QRC. San Juan North led by the outstanding goal scorer Larry Noel, who is so brilliant for Defence Force. He's going to be a handful against QRC. Chaguanas North will host Malik Secondary. That one taking place at the Africa Grounds in Enterprise. As for East Mukurapo Secondary, they will be taking on Moruga Secondary at Fatima College Grounds. So a bit of a contrast. We have Moruga playing at Fatima and Fatima playing at Moruga. And a nice little bit of symmetry to that. Trinity College East, they will face the National Intercol champions, Presentation College, and that will take place at Trinity College East. So a lot of neutral games for these teams, and certainly an attempt here by the Secondary Schools Football League to spread football to different communities in the country, a sort of an outreach, if you want to put it that way. So here are the officials for the game, and here we are, the two teams. Fatima College, the home team, in the blue, with the trailing at the design at the back, these sublimated uniforms as they call them these days, and St. Benedict's College in their traditional green outfits, and the green and the yellow numbers, which always makes it easy for people like me who are sitting 100 meters away to spot the players. The officials are out there with them, and we're just about ready for all-female cast here today for this one, and just about ready for the start of this game. And the two teams getting up in respect as we get ready for the start. And the match commissioner, Wayne Caesar, is just about getting ready to start. And there will be of course, the protocols at this time. That's the end of the moment of silence being observed before the start of the match. As we mentioned, St. Benedict's College losing their former goalkeeper, Nigel Neverson, and also a huge supporter of secondary schools football over the years. The former W Connection head and, of course, the head of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association also passing away. That is, of course, David John Williams and several luminaries of secondary schools football being lost over the past year, and observances here by secondary schools football for those who have passed on. Naprima College, of course, will be up in the north side, so north and south and north. That's what we have here. Fatima College are led by Christian Bailey, and we would have seen him involved in those matches in the Tiger Tanks under 20. Tiger Tanks, of course, taking over as the lead sponsor for this competition, and it is start of the tournament here for these two teams. Fatima College, many see them as one of the big threats for the tournaments, and Benedict's College, we'll see how they pan out today. They're captained by Nashon Alexander. Christian Bailey, the captain of Fatima College. One of the big talking points has been the effect of COVID-19. All of these players were under 16 players 2 years ago, when 3 years ago, I should say, when the Secondary Schools Football League would have started. So we are underway here, and here we are with the start of the match, and it's a free kick with Jaden Williams to take this one. It's already been taken, and right next to him there, Johansi Atherton, and that's a stout-looking tackle in the midfield, and here we are. Fatima College getting underway, and they're finding already Ochoa, that is on the far side. Williams tries to get the cross in, just overcommits, and that's easily going to be a goal kick here for the boys in green from St. Benedict's College. The outfield well grassed, as you can see. It's been quite rainy in the Southland, as it has been in Trinidad and Tobago, so a generous amount of grass on the field. So that's going to make it a little bit heavier for the players to deal with. Also, there's been a lot of rain, as we mentioned, and that has also added a little spice to the fields here in the south. This is a community ground, certainly not the same drainage facilities that we've had at the likes of the Hazley Crawford Stadium and the Atto Walden Stadium, and in cricket, the Queen's Park Oval and the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Not the same type of drainage, so there will be it will be fairly soft underfoot for the players. So Fatima College have a free kick, and it's going to be there. It's going to be Elijah Nunes to take this one. It's already been taken. Well played out of the back here, but the outlet pass was not good. He's put his team under some pressure here as St. Benedict's take it over on the left side. Here is Lee with the long crossfield ball. That might drift out of play. In fact, he's done very well to keep that in, or has he? Yeah, he hasn't been able to keep that in play. It was a rather hopeful speculative ball from the left side. Wasn't quite able to keep it in. So these teams will take a while to get ready, to get used to the surface here. I can safely say that neither team, certainly Fatima College, have never played here. So it's going to take some time for them to get through the gears. And you're already seeing a lot of misplayed passes. Several of those long balls have been mishit. Strong crosswind here in Moruga, so anything hit towards this side of the field will have to be really well weighted. Not only well weighted, but the direction has to be a little bit different if it is to find its intended target, especially with these long balls like this one. That's dangerous, looking very, very dangerous indeed. And the man there, Tyreek Lee, was sandwiched by two players from Fatima College. Managed to get it away from him. Not a great kick, but it falls kindly here to Romani. Knocks this forward. St. Benedict's get it clear with Morris. But it is a foul, and Fatima College will take that over. Our cameras in the stadium here, so you won't see the 500-seater stadium. It's quite a wonderful facility here in Moruga. It's been a great addition to the sporting landscape here in southeast Trinidad. There was a trip there, was there? Fatima College play on. Very honest, the players. There was no attempt at an appeal for a penalty. Can he get the cross in? He does, but it's scuffed. And St. Benedict's take no prisoners here, just knocking it forward. It's going to present Jesse Hospitalis with the throw-in. Yes, Hospitalis is changing passes with Logan Mango. Not the best pass there from Hospitalis, but his fellow defenders bail him out. Here is Mango again, and Hospitalis. Misplayed passes continuing. They are making the attempt here, Fatima College, to play out of the back under the control of Hudson Charles. Fine player indeed for Trinidad and Tobago over the years. So we are just about 4 minutes in here. 0-0 so far. Fatima College on the attack. Here's Williams. Chaim Williams. Certainly a busy young player. No call from the official. Looked like there was a knock trying to play the advantage. But here is St. Benedict's on the attack, and that's snuffed out early. Joshua Mason was the one attempting to get in on the end of that. Jaden Grant, in fact, was the one attempting to get in on the end of that pass. Here's Keanu Moraine and Rashawn Critchlow, but that's given away. Fatima going the other way. He's been tripped up here. And Nashawn Alexander, the captain, might be in some trouble here. That was certainly as close as to a professional foul by an amateur as you would see. Knocked him over just inside the half. He seemed to have made a half step on Nashawn Alexander, but his progress was unceremoniously ended. Here's Mengo again. Crossfield to Nunes. Well, that's come off the head of the St. Benedict's defender, and that has gone behind for a goal kick. So that was just off the head of LaShawn Morris, in fact, and that'll present a corner on the far side. The wind comes across the field from the far side towards where you are watching right now. So the corners tend to come with a wicked amount of force behind it, easily to be misinterpreted by strikers if you're not used to the surroundings. Headed towards goal here. It might break kindly for Fatima College, but there were 3 St. Benedict's defenders there, and they were able to deal with that pretty comfortably. Josiah Ochoa, the number 12, was the closest to it. Also in attendance was the busy figure of Alexander. Fatima have it here. Here is Nunes. Pass in. Hasn't found his striker inside, and that's cleared downfield. A foot race on here. St. Benedict's College with Jaden Grant up front. Still battling away for it, and there is Nicholas Bobcom, and he manages to win the throw-in. Generous amount of vegetation at the back. Old friend of mine from the area calls it the oxygen factory in the area. Throw in for St. Benedict's College, and again, Alexander is going to come up here. He's always doesn't need a second invitation to attack here for his team. Long throw in. That's a good-looking one towards the penalty area. And Fatima get it clear. They've dealt with that comfortably so far. Any threat that Benedict's have put forward to them so far has been answered with a stout response here from Fatima College. Here's Mingo pulling the strings in the midfield. Well, they're going to have to... They're showing some good composure on the ball here, as you would expect from a Hudson Charles team. Russell Sutton also heavily involved in the makeup of this Fatima team. That's a foul, and Mango there showing the other side of his game, and he has been booked for it. Yes, he is the man pulling the strings. He does have some creative ability, Mango, but the enforcer side of him came out, and he's given away a free kick here. So Fatima will give up a free kick in a very dangerous position here. And very much St. Benedict's have been easily the better of the two teams as we are in the first 10 minutes of this game. Here's the free kick. Referee has instructed the St. Benedict's player to wait until she sorts out the wall here. So also a great move from the officials. Here's one. Well, he wasn't attempting to pass that at all, was he? Just trashed that high over. And the stout fencing here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility, easily retrieving that. I understand there is space at the back in that direction for a swimming pool. That's another part of the development of this stadium that is yet to come hopefully we'll see that for the people of the Moruga area in time to come. Goal kick here for Fatima College, still 0-0 in the first 10 minutes of the game. And you are watching this on Tiger Sports on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Vidya Ramphal here with you in Moruga. Very busy is the man up in front, Mason. And getting the outlet pass. Fatima looking dangerous here. The player going down on the far side. He has won the free kick. The Benedict's defender, Morris, isn't too happy with the decision. But I think there was did stab that right foot in. Just contacted the player. It's a very, very dangerous situation here. And all the big targets are lumbering forward, including Moraine. He's there along with, that's a defender, that is. Atherton is up there, as well as Williams for Fatima College. Here's the free kick. Referee sorts things out. It's played towards the back post, and that's overhit. That's going to be easy for the Benedict's defense to get it clear. Well, I say easy, but they still manage not to get it far upfield. Another free kick here for Fatima College. There was some time for the defender to knock that away, Moraine, but tell you what, didn't quite plant the left foot so he could swing that right foot through the middle of the ball and get it upfield. Fatima College, great chance for them here. It's quite very much in a central position for the likes of the number 6, Williams. That's Jaden Williams, one of the 2 Williamses out there. Chaim is the other one. And well, it's almost like a conference there, and some stern instructions being put out there by Nunes. Elijah Nunes, he looks like he's about to strike this one. Williams is also there. Nunes lining up for what looks like a left-footed shot. The wall has been set up already. 4 and make that 5 in there. Here's Nunes, just touches it off. And they tried something a little clever. Now it's gone back to Nunes here. And his pass, or attempted pass, is not clever at all as it just drifts out of play. So Nunes definitely was the decoy, looking as though he was going to strike it left-footed. But instead the shot came off and straight into the wall. St. Benedict's College had a pretty good time in 2019. Several of their teams at youth levels winning competitions. They've always been very strong over the years, St. Benedict's College, at the youth level. And when I say youth, the Form 1 league, of course, the under 14s and the under 16s, they've had very, very good teams. At the senior level, they just haven't been able to put it together, but one would expect that with so much football institutional knowledge there at St. Benedict's, that they will provide a more formidable threat not too long from now against the likes of Presentation and Naparima. That one was well defended there. It looked like the final touch was by Nunes, who had that free kick a couple of minutes ago. Not sure if he got the call or perhaps the contact that he wanted slid off his head for a corner here. This one is going to be a little bit tricky here for the keeper and for the defense. One, it's going to be coming into the breeze. It's going to be coming into the breeze, so St. Benedict's College, looks like the man on the far side is going to be taking this. It is Nicholas Bobcom, and now swung in here by Morris towards the near post. The shot is blocked and cleared. Another shot coming in, and that's too far over the top of the... Well, that's going to... even the fence was not tall enough to deal with that. So we're going to have a little bit of a hold-up here as they retrieve the ball. So far, so good for both teams. Few shots and goal. Nothing that the keepers have had to do so far in this game. Neither keeper has been forced to make a save. But so far, so good for both teams. Sure that Clint Macmillan might be the happier of the 2 coaches so far. The St. Benedict's College coach, as his team has been shading Fatima College in the early stages here. Neither team really getting a real control of midfield, although it seems that Fatima have settled that bit better in terms of their control over the midfield. And the man pulling the strings, as we mentioned, Mango, has had a good time, but has gotten a yellow card, so he might be walking on eggshells for the remainder of this game. Water break at this time, and time for the players and their coaches to talk things over here. 0-0 at the first sign of water in the secondary schools football team match. First one of the season for Fatima College and St. Benedict's College. So the ball has finally been retrieved. I think they've put another ball into play. The first one, there it is. You can see it at the top of your picture, just outside of the view of the camera at this time. That ball clearing the fence. So high was it struck by the St. Benedict's College player. Fatima College attacking the goal to our left. And they will restart play here inside the first 15 minutes with a goal kick. In goal for Fatima College, that's Tristan Edwards, another one of the Tiger Tanks under 20 players who would have campaigned earlier this year. That competition providing a lot of blooding for some of these younger players. Here's a ball that will be eagerly chased down by St. Benedict's College, but that is so well sorted out by the Fatima defense. Tell you what, he came in and dribbled past the forward, made that look easy. The final pass forward was not did not suit well the quality of the play before it. Benedict's College with the throw in, and once again it's Alexander on the left hand side for the long throw. 3 players inside of the box and a fourth just about joining them now. That's flicked on, and foul tray I think is the call here. Looks like Alexander would have come onto the field as he threw that one on. So it's already taken by Nunes. Here he is. Mango steering it away from trouble in the form of Jaden Grant. Nunes, that's Mango again. And Fatima College, a great emphasis on this team from playing out to the back. But when it gets into enemy territory, that's where St. Benedict's have not been committing. It's not a high press by any means here by St. Benedict's. And they certainly have been lying in wait inside their own half. Free kick for Fatima College as it's Williams to take this one. Jaden Williams, that is. There's Chame on the other side of the field. Mango steps forward. Here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. Here's the free kick by Williams. Floats this one into the center. Headed down well here. Loose inside the area. Oh, and he gets the shot off finally. Finds the side of the net, but the referee's whistle had gone quite a while before. Infringement in the middle of the penalty area. And that will be taken by St. Benedict's College goalkeeper, Tane Devonish. Long ball forward. Might drift out of play on the far side. Will that stay in? It does. Might get the cross in here. Has that stayed in play for Fatima College? Well, they say play on, and they do. Now the call has been reversed, and it will go against the team in green, gold, and black. St. Benedict's College, certainly, as we mentioned, a lot of great history to this team. Don Basil Matthews, one of the great believer in the mix of sport and education. Well, the keeper came well here. I'll tell you what, there's a muddy spot just outside of the penalty box, and that one landed squarely in it. And for a moment there, the defender was waiting. Luckily, his keeper, Thane Devonish, was very much alive to the possibility and came forward to make the stop. Good bit of play there by the St. Benedict's custodian. Here's the cross. Just bouncing over the head of 2 Fatima College players. Certainly Fatima over the years have been well with their place in secondary schools football. They've provided an attacking threat every season they've played. Our commentary colleague, Colin Murray, was actually top scorer for Fatima College on 3 seasons, he tells me. Nice turn on the far side by Bobcombe, who's now switched over to that side. And Miles is in the area, as well as this man, Grant. Miles is coming through, and that's sorted out. It's found its way towards Miles. But that's going to drift out for a St. Benedict's throw in here. And they certainly looked very dangerous on the break. So while St. Mary's have been knocking the ball forward between themselves, St. Benedict's College are lying in wait, and they have those very quick forwards. Bobcombe, Miles, both of them, as well as Grant, very quick to spring forward into the attack. They'll have to be very, very careful here, Fatima College, not to be hit on the break. This one's headed away, and there was a chance at a shot, but it's well defended here again by Fatima College. The defense steps forward here for St. Benedict's, and Morris gets it forward. Morris again. That's Rob. He's been robbed of it here. And eventually the player gets a foot in and out of play on the far side. Hospitalis. That's forward off the chest of Damas. And taken over here by Morris. Forward again. That's well read and well taken away by Mango, but he concedes possession almost immediately here to St. Benedict's College. You know that the conditions are really posing a great threat to these players. It's quite muddy, it's quite heavy, it's well grassed outfield, so the ball not rolling. Young players who have been starved of football for the last 3 years certainly will be sorely tested here today. Here's Morris again. Decides to go the easy route and knock it out of play for a throw-in. Here's the skipper Bailey on the far side. Grimace on his face as they are feeling the effects of the conditions. Quite hot sunshine here, and it just seems that bit hotter in Moruga. Hospitalis. Hospitalis again here. Mango in close attendance. It's a good pass forward to Romani. And that's gone against the Fatima College player. So challenging surface. Not a great history of football in the last 3 years. And certainly a real challenge here for the coaches to get their players and keep them positive here as they try to find the opening goal. St. Benedict's on the attack. That maybe not the right option there. He was trying to play the infield ball when playing it out to the right towards the run of Miles may have been the better option. Now Fatima trying to pose some problems of their own. Here's Ochoa, and Ochoa again. There were 2 players waiting for the ball, and neither could get close to it. St. Benedict's get it clear. It's knocked straight into the St. Benedict's bench. Hasn't been quite as fluent here as Fatima College have struggled against the more physical St. Benedict's College. Always played a very physical style of football, and they play some exciting football over the years, St. Benedict's College. And some great players, Jordan, Lando, names like that have come to mind. Go back even further, and there are a lot of names that certainly do come to mind. Steve David, Leroy DeLeon, Warren Archibald, Wilfred Kay, Bobby Sukram, Dick Furlong. All of those names should be put up in lights, and they have been at the St. Benedict's College. Yeah, here's the latest incarnation of the St. Benedict's College senior team in action here in Moruga. That one drifts across to Moraine. Not getting close to that, there was Ochoa. Hospitalis and Mango has to forced to go back to his central defenders. Here is Williams. Fine first touch Williams does possess for a defender. Forward by Nunes. And Nunes again, that finds its way into the box. Dangerous here for St. Benedict's, and that was very well done by Edwards, sliding forward to make the stop. So that's a nice save. Devonish, making the stop there. But it's back with Fatima College. Crossfield ball. Space here on the far side, but the pass doesn't measure up to the amount of space that Bobcom had on the far side. And yes, I think you can make out the line there. This is also a multi-purpose field. Set out for cricket. There are also 2 cricket pitches here. So you can see the amount of space on the far side of the field. Good amount of spectators here. It's not often we see secondary schools football in Moruga. And then again, not often you see Fatima College here in Moruga. So the novelty effect has drawn a few spectators here in Moruga for this game. Nice long raking ball, and Devonish is forward to that again and gets it forward. Very much one of those young sweeper keepers upcoming here in Trinidad. And gets up quickly, Alcantara. Looks like there has been a goal it is! And into the back of the net, and Thane Devonish, despite all of his heroics so far, was not able to stop that one. And Fatima College have gone ahead slightly against the run of play, and it is Kiba Romani who's been active on that far side. He has put away the opening goal here for Fatima College, so the first goal to be scored in the history of secondary schools football here in Moruga has come off the boot of Kiba Romani, converting from just inside the near post. Good moment here for Fatima. They lead by 1-0. So 1-0 Fatima College. Romani converting in minute 27. And so that'll do his confidence some good here as he gets ready for the restart of the game. We're still just about the halfway, past the halfway mark of the first half. Work here for Nunes, who ushers that out of play, and throw in here for St. Benedict's, who St. Benedict's College will have a lot of work to do now if they are to get back into this game. Sean Alexander will come up to take the long throw here. He and the St. Benedict's College bench, Randolph Boyce, the head coach, certainly will have to do their job in lifting the team out from the morass of going behind here. Not a good first touch by Tyreek Lee, but still manages to get the corner for his team. Looks like the dreadlocked figure of Jeremiah Miles going forward. Here's how it happened. It was a break down the right-hand side. Now, keep your eye on Romani in the center. The ball's coming across, and maybe not dealt with well by the St. Benedict's defense. They get a second bite of the cherry, and it was swept into the near post by Romani. So the corner still to be taken here, and it does look like Miles who will take it. Several of the St. Benedict's players wearing those short dreadlocked hairstyles, and it is Miles. You can see how strong the wind is, and that's not a very good corner, but it still does present some problems here, and Tristan Edwards did well to catch that one. Surprisingly, none of the St. Benedict's forwards was in to challenge the goalkeeper for that. Could have perhaps forced a mistake from him legally. Hospitalis. They've sent Bobcombe across on that side to test the mettle of Hospitalis, and Bobcombe hasn't quite gotten the ball perhaps enough to threaten him on that far side. Hospitalis back to his defender, and it comes all the way back to St. Benedict's College. That's not a good pass. The spin and the bounce was well read there. Sure, he has some cricketing prowess within his locker here. That is the big figure of Moraine. Not a good touch forward. That's a short, very assured touch by at the center of the Fatima defense. St. Benedict's bring it forward again. Struggling to control that was Romani. Certainly looked quite more assertive when inside the 6-yard box a few minutes ago, and that's where he needed to do the business. Not sure who that was intended for, but the surface certainly has troubled these players. Half an hour just about gone in this game, and Fatima College lead by a goal to nil. Keeper Romani putting them ahead in minute 27. St. Benedict's will have to really ramp up the pressure here on the team in blue if they are to get back into this game. They've provided a fair amount of tense moments for Fatima so far in this game, but not enough goal-mouth action. That might change here as Tyreek Lee on the run. That was a great pass, but it just bounced over the foot of Grant there as he was attempting to bring that under control. And that's the sort of situation where you really have to, it's just a one-touch finish that's needed. One poke past the goalkeeper, and that's it. He had gotten past the defender, and just maybe just a little bit of contact here. His initial thought was to control and shoot, but I really felt maybe just enough contact would have steered it past the goalkeeper there. So the best chance emerging there for St. Benedict's College in the 30th minute. So they have been woken up here. Not that they didn't already have an eye and a half open by the Fatima against this Fatima team. Forward to Williams. Looking to turn here is Mason. Going one way and the next. Got the better of the defender, but then he himself fell victim to the conditions. Both of them slipping and sliding. Looked like a children's game on the near side for a moment there. The old slip and slide. Finally, it's going to be a throw-in for St. Benedict's College. Good pass. Nunes finds his skipper on the far side. Here's the cross coming in. It was aimed towards the figure of Romani once again. Here's the other number 7. This is Lee. Knocked forward again. Back with St. Benedict's College here. The boys from La Romaine in South Trinidad have gone behind. Hasn't been for the lack of trying here. These St. Benedict's College, they just lack a cutting edge at the moment. Best chance emerging for Drayton Grant a couple of minutes ago. Unable to get that one home. Here's Devonish. Well, he was forced into a rather hurried clearance. Did very well. Tell you what, that youngster is very good with his feet. More work here for Grant. The big battering ram of a forward he is. Gets past one defender, but the second does well. Williams was there again. He's been so good for Fatima College at the center of defense. A real assured touch he has. To use the local parlance, he doesn't mix matters, does he? Here's the cross. There's a player free, and he doesn't bring it down well, Miles. He was in an onside position, and eventually Chaim Williams had to come back to make the clearance. But a better first touch could have seen Jeremiah Miles in acres of space to lash the ball towards the Fatima goal here. All the same, they still lead. All of these players, the last time they would have represented their teams, they would have been perhaps on the under-16 team. Not many of these teams keeping their players from the senior level. Many of them have aged out. They've moved on to college. Some have moved on to university. Some have even left football altogether, playing in minor leagues around the country. Outside of the impact of one of the other impacts of COVID-19 has been the money issue, which many of these teams have been grappling with. Some teams, including Chaguanas, I understand, just signaling they will be part of the league just a couple weeks before. Some space here for Fatima. Not sure what their money situation is, but tend to find that these teams with very good all-boy situations have coped a lot better. That one in towards the area and again headed away. Knocked forward. And that's again out of play. A lot of misplayed passes, which you would expect this time of the season. Very early here in the season. And many of these teams have not had a lot of opportunities to play together. Getting practice matches, getting facilities to play has been proven to be a massive headache for not only for teams but also for Secondary Schools Football League. There's Hudson Charles, the Fatima College coach, just pointing out. Very familiar figure, Hudson Charles. One of the few Trinidad and Tobago players to score on U.S. soil. Not many have. And there was that wonderful goal that he scored back in 1988 for Trinidad and Tobago, a 1-1 draw against the USA in 1988 in Torrance, California. The only draw that Trinidad and Tobago has ever had in the USA. No, it's not a great record to mention, but I've lost every other game except for that one. And Hudson Charles was the man to supply a really sublime finish in the last minute of the game, slotting past the U.S. legend Toli Miola. Space for Fatima on the right-hand side. That's a good pass. Well, it looked good for a moment, but just too far ahead of the man running on there from the pass by Bailey. Mango, I think, had tried to get into that inside right channel. However, couldn't find him. Yeah, the conditions certainly have not helped passing here. So Fatima College, whose short passing game has not been aided by the conditions. St. Benedict's College also putting a premium on passing the ball outside, out from the back. Looking for Grant again, but that's taken away here by Fatima. That was Romani coming back in the midfield. Miles looking good here. He's been very busy so far, Miles. Knocked forward by Lee. Here's Lee again. That is another fine touch at the back there by Fatima. And it looked like Atherton was the man who got the touch in. He and Williams really looked like they formed a good partnership already for Fatima College. And I'm sure that as the season progresses, it will blossom even further. One of the reasons why many feel that this Fatima team will go far, not only in this premiership, but in the intercol competition. Of course, a lot of things have to happen. Injuries, they can remain at a low number, low percentage. Now, certainly will affect them, as the same with St. Benedict's. Here's Moraine with the long ball. Oh, that was hung up towards the far side, and Morris was coming in. Defender to defender there. Morris, a sneak attack on the far side, and he's won a corner for his team. Just overlapping on the left side, Morris. And Bobcom is just ahead of him. But saw the opportunity and attacked the ball viciously there. But Fatima College equal to it. A defense that has been superbly marshaled at the back by Williams and Atherton. Grimace on the face of Bobcom on the far side. Feeling the effects of the weather, I'm sure. Off the head of the Fatima College defender. They'll come back to St. Benedict's. Maureen beckoning the man behind him, Miles. Miles, who was in a forward position, was sent back to do the defensive work at the dead ball situation. Benedict's not afraid to pull out the long ball. Certainly, they're not. You're seeing a lot of passes, 40 yards plus, a lot more from St. Benedict's than from Fatima. This one's cut out here, and Lee is the man in the middle. He has a fine left foot and a very good right foot too. That time, the right foot deserting him for a moment. This one's knocked forward, looking for the run here. of the man coming in on the far side, but couldn't get in on the end of it. Just a few minutes away from the halftime whistle here, as St. Benedict's trail Fatima College by a goal to nil. Here's Alexander, skipper for St. Benedict's College. So many fine players of the past have worn that captain's armband over the years. Mentioned a few of them already. Here's Moraine. Oh, he's given that away. And Mango is more on a left side of the midfield now, joining the attack here. That was knocked over. This could be dangerous here. And the ball just spinning back when if it maybe a forward motion of the ball would have helped the forward. But he read it well. And that was a pull in the back of the Fatima College player. And it is De Gans, name we haven't called a lot. He's been quite busy, but hasn't seen a huge amount of the ball here. And Fatima will want to get De Gans involved more in the game. Stroked in by Nunes. And that's, well, the keeper really should have come for that. And the defender had 2 bites of the cherry and eventually bailed out by his partner in the center of defense. Fatima College, it was just taken too early there by Nunes. Don't think his fellow teammates were quite ready for that. I think several of them still had their back turned when the free kick was taken. Last 5 minutes coming up before the half. That's just belted forward. It's fallen nicely here for Grant, who has some speed. 2 defenders on his back. No call from the official. Looked like a tackle from behind there. And this could break here. Kindly. Oh, that's a great save. Wonderful work there by the St. Benedict's custodian, Devonish. One-on-one with the Fatima College player. And he read that so beautiful. He just waited for the touch. And as soon as the ball got off the foot of the St. Benedict's, of the Fatima player, he was onto it in a flash and made the stop. Good goalkeeping here. He has been beaten once already, but he's pulled off some really fine saves already. And you can see that Tane Devonish does have a high football IQ. He reads the game so brilliantly. Referee just having a quick word with the player in front of her. It looks like it's that Aiden De Gans who's gotten a talking to here. Certainly will. You will be advised to heed the words of the officials. That one goes out of play to Hospitalis. Jesse Hospitalis, the right back for Fatima College. The players bundled over at no call from the official. Down the line here. Will that stay in play? It does. Bobcombe. Forced back here is Bobcombe. And now it's Critchlow. He's given up the ball, but he's battling away, trying to win it back here. Miles. Miles gets a shot off. Off the back of the defender. That might go behind for a corner. It does. Bobcombe was interested in sweeping that one in, but couldn't catch up with it. And the hands on the hips tells you all about the conditions here. Even the very fit-looking Bobcombe is feeling the effects of the burn here in Moruga. The beach is not very far from here, but I don't think that's going to be on the mind for them. After this game ends, there won't be much time to get any of the fine waters down in the Moruga area. A lot of great areas to see in Moruga. This one swept in towards the near side and just headed wide. That was very close. That's the best chance for St. Benedict's College. It was towards the near post, and that header just flashed wide. Good contact. And the man coming in there, well, it didn't quite see, but it may have been. Miles was in there also. He's very close to the action. It could have been Grant, who was in at the near post. So since Romani's goal in the 27th minute, Fatima has had one really good chance. Devonish was very astute in the way that he dealt with that. But St. Benedict's are getting closer and closer here as we get up towards the half-time. They'd certainly love to to really stick one in here before they go in for the break. Attempt at a cross here by Williams. Here's Mingo riding one tackle but not the second. Forward by Critchlow. Too far forward, at least for the man running onto it in front of him. So here in Moruga, as we count down towards the half, it's 1-0. Fatima College going ahead in the 27th minute. Keeper Romani writing his name into the history books here as the first man to score a goal in secondary schools football here in at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. Facility opened just over 2 years ago, but hasn't seen a terrible amount of action with the COVID-19 situation, but heard a lot of good things about the way that the people have seen the stadium. It's certainly has added a lot of pride. Several of the was at the opening of the facility on the 5th, and a lot of people there have, where they talked very highly about the quality of the stadium. Well, you're not getting a view of it from this angle, but it certainly has been a real proud moment in the history of the Moruga area. St. Benedict's lucky not to go 2 goals down, and they will stay at 1-0 at the half. We're just about that point. Here's Bobcom. Oh, he's drifted past Hospitalis. Well, yeah, lines up the shot. It went bouncing away, but easily saved there by Edwards. But for a moment there, you would have felt good about Bobcom's chances of knocking that one into the back of the net. Just bobbled a little bit as he swung the right boot at it. Might be reflect on that moment after the game if he doesn't get on the score sheet today. Here's the run by the man in front. That is, looks like the figure of Mason. Is that going to be a free kick? It's a throw-in on the far side. And running after it there is Bailey, Christian Bailey, the captain. Certainly has been a tough, attritional first half here. And Fatima College creating the best chance and converting the best chance. Keeper Romani getting the first goal. Hospitalis with the pass in, headed away. St. Benedict's will get this clear. It's Tyreek Lee, skillful midfielder for St. Benedict's. Now that is pumped forward, but too far ahead, and Grant was not interested in chasing that one down, and that's going to be the whistle to end off the first half. So at the end of the first half, not a lot of time played on for stoppages here. It is Fatima leading by a 1-0. Keeper Romani scoring in the 27th minute. A lot of work to do here for St. Benedict's College if they are to get the 3 points here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. 1-0 at the half. Welcome back to Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. Fatima College in the blue. They lead St. Benedict's College by a goal to nil. 27th minute. Keeper Romani slotting in from close range after a break down the right-hand side. Earned an easy cross for Fatima College. St. Benedict's didn't exactly deal with that situation well. They were stout in defense throughout the first half, but that situation, they needed a second chance to score. They didn't get that. They cleared the ball, didn't get that, and Romani was there to slot through the legs of Thane Devonish. Devonish really showing up his quality in the first half. Produced a few saves and one really good save, one-on-one with the Fatima forward. Mason was the man coming through, but also reading the game very well. Very much one of the sweeper keepers in the secondary schools football game. One of 4 games on today in Group A, St. Augustine against Naparima. That one heading towards... I'm hearing reports that there's a little bit of a goal rush going on in the north side. We'll tell you a little bit about that later on as the situation comes in. Here at the start, it's Hospitalis looking to get that one in, but couldn't find his captain Bailey just behind him, and St. Benedict's will take it over. Also on today, Karapichaima against Speyside. Speyside also starting well there, and Pleasantville and St. Anthony's College. Reports are that St. Anthony's are 2-0 ahead in that one. St. Benedict's looking to prize open this Fatima College defense. They came close. 3 chances late in the first half. A first-time finish. The forward Grant was not able to do so. A header flashed wide, and a shot from distance was saved by the goalkeeper. So they started to open up the Fatima College defense and started to find some openings, but unable to get the equalizer, St. Benedict's College. They will continue to batter at the door of the St. Benedict's College team until they do so. St. Benedict's, that's very much in their nature. Mason trying to find his way round the back of the defense. But with those two at the back, Morris, who looks a formidable figure, the left-sided defender. It's Miles, now back on the left-hand side here, Jeremiah Miles. In terms of the way the two teams have stacked up, yes. It's Fatima College, more of a possession-based team. St. Benedict's were content for a while to hit on the break, as they're trying to do here. They have earned themselves a corner in the second half, and that is the speedy Tyreek Lee breaking down the left-hand side. Boy, he will be a handful if he can keep his form and fitness throughout this match, throughout the season for St. Benedict's College. Miles has also had some fine moments, and as his name suggests, he has also completed quite a few of it in the first half. Full of running, Jeremiah Miles. He's going to take the corner. Breeze very much against him, so this one will not have the velocity as it gets towards the far post. Bouncing around inside the area, and cleared away. What's the call here? It's a corner. And that looked like it came off Atherton last. Johansi Atherton at the back. He and the assured touch of Williams have kept things tight at the back for Fatima College. Here's Bobcombe to swing this one in. A gleam of teeth at the far side as he sends it in, and there's the header over the bar. Well, I think it was Grant who got the header that time. He's a real powerhouse of a forward player, Jaden Grant. Not able to get that one under the bar. Tell you what, he was coming down. Got in a good leap, but he was coming down as he contacted the ball, and as a result got under it rather than over it. So St. Benedict's have been able to carve out another chance here. Still no goals yet from the men from Laromaine in South Trinidad. Proud tradition from St. Benedict's. Mentioned earlier the name Dom Basil Matthews, the Benedictine monk who was an ordained priest in the Order of St. Benedict's back in 1935. One of the first Trinidadians elected to that post. Certainly was a great believer in the power of sport, Don Basil Matthews. And may long his tradition of that continue at St. Benedict's. This one is swept out of play by Williams. Encouragement offered there by Nunes towards the man in front of him, Chaim Williams. Williams has had his moments in the game, but not a lot of to shout about here for Fatima in the second half so far. Here's Williams and finds De Gans. Switched over towards Bailey, who brings it down. Too close to Miles, who picks it up. Not a great ball by Miles, but Morris in some problems there. Now it's back with Bailey. Bailey, one-on-one with the defender now. Can he get past here, Williams? Decides not to take him on. Here is Bailey again, looking for the pass inside. Headed away, the keeper came for it, missed it, and misses it again. And finally, Devonish collapses on it in a heap. He certainly was bumped there. Not sure if it was by his own defender. And he's not happy at all. Looking towards the official and saying something. Not sure if it was entirely complimentary to who it was aimed at. Forward by Critchlow. Only as far as the boot of Nunes, who sets Fatima College in motion again. Here's Mason. Gets past one. Can he get the cross in? He's very right-footed, Mason, and he was struggling to get the ball back onto his right foot, but has won the throw-in on the far side. You can see how high the grass has been here. At explosion of growth with the amount of rain that we've had the last couple of months. Has wreaked havoc with the cricket season, the end of the cricket season, but start of the football season, they found it very, very comfortable and comforting at the same time. 52nd minute, and that will be St. Benedict's ball. Moraine goes across to deal with that. First name Keanu. Sure, he was named after the famous American actor. The year he was born. Keanu Reeves would have done that film Constantine. I'm sure you would have seen that. Supernatural thriller. Really enjoyed that one, I have to tell you. Sure his mom would have enjoyed that too. Not sure who's given him the name, but whoever it was must be a big Keanu Reeves fan. Perhaps from The Matrix or one of his other big franchises. John Wick, perhaps. That came a little bit afterwards. 1-0 Fatima lead here. 53rd minute now, and it's still with St. Benedict's. Tell you what, they haven't looked entirely flustered here by Fatima. Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Just a touch, and that could have trickled across the line there. Well dealt with. Shades of Edison playing for Manchester City. He was very coolly dealt with there by Thane Devonish. Benedicts have improved as the game has gone on. A lot of long balls early, but now they're starting to settle into a rhythm here as they're starting to get their short game going. That's good work, very good work there by Fatima's Mason, just ensuring that St. Benedict's couldn't find a speedy foothold on the left-hand side. Critchlow steps away, leaves it for Morris, and Morris has given back possession to Fatima College here. That's a foul throw. If I'm not mistaken, he did step onto the field as he was making the throw. That's another thing we saw with the Tiger Tanks under 20 earlier this year. Players just coming back. There was a proliferation of foul throws as players still haven't gotten the motion back. Don't think there's too much muscle memory right now after 3 years being out. It's headed away. That's a good header there by the skipper, Alexander. Hospitalis looks for Mango, but Miles is there to break up that partnership those two have formed in the first half. Grant. Bob Cummins now switched over to the right. Grant keeps that alive. Oh, there's a chance! Oh, he missed it completely. Miles was left open there and missed the header completely. What a moment for St. Benedict's College. But it was a nightmarish moment for Jeremiah Miles, who was left completely open at the far side. All he had to do was get a touch onto that towards goal. Missed it completely. Went for the power header. Placement could have just done the trick from that range. They're getting closer here at St. Benedict's College. Fatima have been rocked. That's 4 unanswered chances, stretching over the last 10 minutes of the first half to now, that St. Benedict's have carved out here. Lee drifts past 2 defenders and a third. He has a good ball, but the keeper should get there first. He doesn't. This could be the moment here for St. Benedict's College. That's hit the ball. Come back out. How did he miss from that range? That should have been the equalizer. And St. Benedict's College and Tyreek Lee, what does he need to do to get the equalizer here? That was an inspired run. And the shot crashes against the bar. Here's the chance. The ball came in. It was pulled back in here by Ochoa. Look at the pass from Ochoa. And you really thought that was going to be a goal. It was Lee himself who got the right-footed shot in and couldn't find. It hit the underside of the bar. And I'll tell you what, perhaps an inch lower, that would have gone in. Such are the margins that Fatima College have kept their hopes of 3 points here alive. An inch away, St. Benedict's College. That's the best chance. That is 5 unanswered chances here by the boys from the Commons. Very, very close. And Hudson Charles sending out some new instructions here for his team. And another yellow card. And one of the Fatima players, he has been booked. And I believe is that identify that player. I'm tempted to believe that's Darius Jordan who's come on. But the card handed out there. So Fatima in the books now. Logan Mengo, remember, got a yellow card early in the first half. Spaces here for Bobcombe. That's all he needs. Here's the pass towards Moraine. Moraine is tackled, and the Fatima College get it clear. As you can probably tell, it's a lot heavier on the other side of the field. Far side of the field, as you can see, there's a bit of a muddy patch there. And you tend to find this on community grounds. The leeward side, the windward side of the ground tends to be a bit heavier in terms of grass and... Oh, there's a shot that finds the back of the net. Fired in from just outside of the area. And there is the equalizer for St. Benedict's College. And they have scored in minute 57. That was fired in from just outside of the area. And look at that. The keeper going full stretch to his left. Couldn't find it. And St. Benedict's are ahead. And it is Ephraim Brown who scored here. And Brown, who's come on in the second half, has fired St. Benedict's College to a 1-all. And yeah, there the Benedict supporters are applauding. And including one or two of seeing some cricket players there also, and some coaches who certainly enjoyed that. Benedict's faithful there have been fired up here as their team has equalized in the 58th minute. And they were certainly in the ascendancy in the last 10 minutes of the first half and in the first 15 of this one. And they finally have put the icing on it here with a goal. Now Lee looking for another one of those inspired runs of his. He's back on the end of it. He's burst through the 2 defenders. But Hospitalis is there to get the foot in. And Miles will take the throw in. Away from Lee. Fatima looking to go ahead for a second time in this game. Bailey. And back to Bailey again. The skipper has to lead by example here for the team from Port of Spain. West Port of Spain to be exact. In the Mucurapo area. Mango. Here is Bailey again. Back to Mango. And here's some space here for Bailey. Can he get the cross? A telling cross in. Gets past the defender. Inside the box, Bailey. This could be the moment. Oh, that's a poor cross. Finds the defender all the same. And he's headed back across the area. And St. Benedict's will get it clear. Well, that was... Grant was getting that one clear. It's back with St. Benedict's College here. Brown, who came in as a midfielder, really fired that one towards goal and getting the equalizer. Now Bobcombe is off on a run here, and his shot is just wide. Bobcombe found some space just beyond the defender and really did well to fire off that shot, but couldn't find the back of the net there, and St. Benedict's have warned Fatima again. So they've made a couple of changes here, both teams, but still, but the man that has made the biggest difference in the second half has been the substitute Ephraim Brown, who's come on and has scored for St. Benedict's College here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. Cheering in the stands, led by Amin Forjani, the St. Benedict's cricket coach, well known in cricket circles, secondary schools cricket also. Quite a close relationship between secondary schools cricket and football. Many of the officials from one sport also part of the other. Has been a difficult time for the new president, Murray Gonzalez, steering secondary schools football through this difficult period. That's well done there by Morris, who does well the first time and the second to get that clear here for St. Benedict's College. It was a difficult take the first time. The second one was more brute force required and did well. Fatima will get to that first, and they've conceded the throw-in on the far side. Huge expanse of land here in St. Mary's in Moruga, and very, very quiet. Well, you could have heard a pin drop when the Fatima team went ahead, but it was all cheering and a staring when they equalized St. Benedict's. Here's Lee again, getting a pass one and the second, but the defender is there to make the stop. Tyreek Lee has been the massive difference in this second half. His inspired play has brought St. Benedict's a couple of chances. They've gotten one, almost had a second. They're in the ascendancy right now, St. Benedict's College, but can they cap it off? Can they go on to win this game now? Well, there's a player coming off the field here. I'm sure there's a substitution has been made, and it looks like Lee has come off here. So we'll identify the player who's come on, or if it is in fact Lee who's gone off here, but he was just trudging off the field for a moment there. Interesting to see. It is Lee still on the field, so there was another player just trudging off for a moment. Here is the pass played by Bailey on the far side. And now St. Benedict's bring it the other way. Miles setting up the attack on the far side. Long ball forward. Keeper. Whoa! Oh, the keeper has almost fumbled that into his own goal. That's going to be a corner. And Thane Devonish, what was he thinking? That looked to be heading away from his goal. But then you have to think that he's not the tallest of goalkeepers. And I think perhaps he was wondering if that ball was going to drift back in towards goal. All the same, he tried to catch it when I think maybe tipping it over the bar might have been the better option there. But he tried to catch it and he almost was left with egg on his face. If that had fallen into the goal, that would have been a really bad start to the season there for Devonish. We've said a lot of good things about this afternoon. 27 minutes remaining here, so still a lot of time for one of these teams to snatch the 3 points. Corner here for Fatima College. Inside the area, Romani is looking for a second. The number 7. Keepers come for it again and just missed the far post. Well, they're getting closer here. That's the second chance Fatima have had in the last couple of minutes. And they're pressing for the go-ahead goal here in Moruga. Mentioned this is a Group A fixture. Naparima College comfortably in front of St. Augustine, I'm hearing, in North. as well as Speyside against Karapi Chima. And St. Anthony's already pretty much ahead of Pleasantville. They will be looking to wrap up the points there. Knocked in towards the far post here. That's headed back into the area, into the mixer. And St. Benedict's have been bailed out by a call, a push in the back there. But Miles seemed to have gotten that clear before the referee's whistle came. In Group B, of course, 4 matches there. The focus will be on the defending Intercol champions Presentation College, who beat Naparima College in their match on Friday in the opener for the new season. Presentation will be up against Trinity College East. Be interesting to see how they deal with that threat at Trinity College East ground. East Mukarapo are ahead already against Moruga Secondary. Moruga playing up at Fatima College in the Group B fixture. And Malik are in charge of their game against Chaguanas North Secondary, as are San Juan against QRC at Bogmulatres ground. Here it's 1-1. This is the closest of all of the 7 games we've had so far. Outside of that one, Presentation Trinity. All of the rest, it's been a splurge of goals as we would have expected in the early stages of the Secondary Schools Football League, where defensive systems are still growing roots. And forwards have been profiting from a lot of goals. Here is St. Benedict's trying to move forward. And it is the goal scorer, Brown, that gets them off. And here is Tyreek Lee. Back to Brown and Lee again. There might be a shot on here, and Moraine does exactly that. Too high over the bar. So minute 67 now. Fatima 1, St. Benedict's 1. Just to remind you, Kiba Romani put Fatima ahead in the 27th minute. St. Benedict's College equalizing in the 58th minute, and that was through Ephraim Brown. First secondary schools Football League game ever played here at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. And the 2 gentlemen I just mentioned, their names will certainly be mentioned as the first 2 to score here at the facility in secondary schools football. There have been some other matches played here, local league matches, since sport restarted after the COVID-19 break in January. That's when the Minister of Sport would have sent out that media release that informed all that sports was back. St. Benedict's, that's drifted past the defender. And here's the cross, coming in, Benedict's here in some space. It was the figure of Darrell Grant there for a moment, left it to the player just outside of him, and here's the shot coming in, it's a cross. And that's drifted high over the bar. It was Josiah Ochoa that time. It just was slightly behind him, and all he could do is lob it up into the air and past the goalposts. Certainly not the most difficult of games for the officials to deal with. The players have been well disciplined, as you would expect from 2 of the finer schools in Trinidad and Tobago. Fatima in the north and St. Benedict's in the south. 2 great institutions of learning and also sports. Great examples they've set over the years for all other schools to follow. Here's the cross coming in. The keeper's done well here. That is a fine save by Devonish. He's not the tallest of goalkeepers, but that was heading towards goal, and he did well to rise high and tip it away with the right hand. He certainly is dwarfed by the 2 defenders in front of him, but he rose high. A gigantic leap to knock that one away. This one's going to test him again here, and he's done well to catch it at the far post. One of his defenders was actually making a real nuisance of himself. It was Alexander, the captain. I think Alexander's clattered into his own goalkeeper, and he's come out the worse for wear here. Yeah, the instructions are pretty clear at the corners for Fatima College. Because of the height of Thane Devonish, they're knocking everything close to goal, hoping that they can draw a mistake and perhaps knock in goal. Miles does well. But not a great pass out. Back with Fatima. Not a great first touch there. Looks like Atong is the one who's come on here for Fatima. Jose Atong, one of those who was part of the police squad. Jose Atong, and actually was in the reckoning for a place in the under-20 team, but make the final cut, if I remember correctly. There he is, sweeping it crossfield. Can't find his captain or link up with his captain, Christian Bailey. That's Grant sweeping it out towards the right. Back with St. Benedict's here. It's Moraine to try again. And his forward pass finds its mark this time. Good bit of shake and bake on the far side. It's into the area. This could be 2-1. That's a great save. Tristan Edwards did well to come out there, and a wonderful foot save. We talked about the footwork of Ting Devonish. Well, youngster Tristan Edwards showing his wares with a nice foot save. David De Gea would have been proud of that. Well, another yellow card here, and it is the Fatima College number 18, Jose Atong, who I mentioned just a couple of moments ago. He's now... Oh! Wow! Red card for Atong! Atong, who's come on in the second half, has gotten the yellow card, and something he set out of turn here, and he's gotten a red card. 2 yellow cards within the space of a couple of seconds. There's what's happened. He got the yellow card, and then as the official was getting ready to start here, well, she thought about it. Well, I'm not sure what it is. If he said something, he did, he did relieve himself of some spittle there, but I don't think there was anything malicious about that. But for some reason here, he's gotten 2 yellow cards, and he's been sent off. He doesn't look pleased at all. Nobody would be, by the way. And he's come off here. Michael Chavez, as you can see, just at the top of your picture, has come off. And he's saying, basically, we don't have a lip reader on staff, but I can tell you, I don't think he's pleased with the decision. I don't think the lip reader could have mentioned what he said either. Well, Atong coming on in the second half, and he's found himself out. So Fatima College, against a St. Benedict side that had started to lose some steam here, have now a player advantage. Can they get him? Oh, that's almost there. He's put it into the back of the net, but it's not going to count. It is not going to count. It's offside. Moraine put it away at the far post. It was headed towards the far post. Moraine was there. Here's the free kick coming in. And the St. Benedict's player rising well to get the header across. That was Grant. And Moraine was there to get the goal. But the official on the far side says that there was an offside. I'm tempted to believe that it was, in fact, Grant who was in the offside position and not the man who came in to score, Moraine. But it's not going to count, and that could have been St. Benedict's College ahead. Signs are not good here for Fatima College. They will do very well to play out the last 18 minutes with 10 men if they can get a draw and even get a win. Forward here by Grant. That's Darrell Grant. And they will have a throw in here, St. Benedict's College. Now, always very difficult. It's difficult at times to break down teams with 10 men. But here's Benedict, and that's not a bad shot. But it's saved. Looked like the new man on who's done so. Well, that's not, I'm sure, where he intended it, but he does find his captain, Bailey, who gets... Fatima College, how will they approach this? With Atong missing now, he usually plays in an attacking midfield position. And here is another yellow card. And that looked like the man who scored the goal, Moraine, who's gotten a yellow card here. There could be a bit of frustration in that tackle. Moraine is going to get the yellow card. But I tell you what, he scored the goal, and he started celebrating, but I think maybe a little frustration, maybe a little smile on his face there as he ruefully accepts the yellow card. What can you do? I've never seen referees pull those back. trainer for Fatima College, is on the field. That is Nashawn Rollo is the name I've been given, and doing the work there for Fatima College. St. Benedict's College represented by Makita Joseph, and that's something we've seen, the grown-in staff among the secondary schools teams over the years, and great to see that the schools have seen it fit to expand their staff. One remembers in the 1980s, remember the words of the late Shane Warne, when he said that the only coach he knew was the one that took him to the ground to play. Coaching staff certainly has expanded, both teams having assist coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches, and managers, and a physio to go with that. Some of the teams actually have a doctor on, but the secondary schools football league have ensured that medical staff are available for the games. So that's always good to see, because certainly when there is situations like this here, you would need a medical staff on. And remember, Fatima College have lost one man. That is Jose Atong, out to a red card. 2 yellow cards within the space of a couple of seconds here. Now they have another player down with an injury. And captain of Fatima College, Christian Bailey, looking on with great concern, because they might have to replace one of their critical components on the left side here. Jesse Hospitalis getting some words from the coach, and he's now relating that to Elijah Nunes there. And they're just having a talk over. Nunes looks over towards the coaching staff bench, where Hudson Charles has issued the instructions. Hospitalis is playing on the right side of the fence here for Fatima College, so he's the one who's entrusted to carry the message across. Well, they're calling for the stretcher here, and I don't think this player can continue. So Fatima College have lost, I believe. This is another one of their substitutes. Darius Jordan is off, and he's not going to come back on, but they will have to send on another substitute here, and Luke Correa, who is on, will take his place. Correa is going to get his first taste of action here in secondary schools football, and I think they are going to make the change now. So Correa is going to come on, and the unlucky Darius Jordan has had to go off here injured. Hudson Charles is ensuring that his player is on legally. St. Benedict's College also going to make a change here, and Malachi Webb is going to come on. Those who would have seen St. Benedict's football in the 1990s and would remember Wesley Webb. What a nightmare he was for every team he came against. The outstanding Wesley Webb. Brilliant skills. The Maradona of the South he was in his day. This is Malachi Webb on. Let's see if he's going to light up the afternoon here in the last 12 minutes of this game. First, some work here for St. Benedict's College. They'll knock this one towards goal. Knocked away. Mengo has some work here. He does well. Actually, that was Nunes, and now he gets the cross in. The keeper's come for it and claims it well. Devonish rolls high, and there was a Fatima College player coming in. Kiba Romani, the goal scorer of the scorer of the first goal, as he's entitled to do, just got a bit too close to the keeper, and that is a foul which has gone the way of St. Benedict's College. It's 1-1. The upper man here. 73rd minute. A rush of blood, perhaps. Jose Atong sent off. He looked a bit bemused as why he got the red card. Good play by Hospitalis. Here's Bailey, turning away from trouble. Miles has been a real thorn in his side since he's come over to the left. Bailey was just robbed of that one and couldn't find the pass. It had gone actually towards the man who's come on, Michael Chavez, but it was between both of them, and Bailey stepping away, jumping in, not with joy though. Here's the throw in, and here's the new man on there. That is Correa. Correa again. Oh, that's nicely done in the midfield. by Atherton, and a crossfield ball by Hospitalis. St. Benedict's take it over here. Well, they're hoping to send on a run here Miles, but he is second best in that chase. Here's Grant and Lee. Goal scorer Brown. Back here to Moraine. Moraine gets the cross in. There's a player free. Oh, that's... What was he trying to do? Headed towards goal, didn't get his body in the right position, and the chance is gone again for St. Benedict's College. St. Benedict's College could have wrapped up this game already with the number of chances they've had. They could easily have been 3 goals ahead here. They should have been out of sight already, but Fatima, credit to them. Despite going down to 10, they've hung tough here and trying to find a winner now. And they will get a free kick, not the kind of situation that coaches love at all. Demas had no business clattering into the back of the defender. He had absolutely nowhere to go and no business giving away that free kick in a dangerous position here. Last 10 minutes of the game. Fatima looking for what could be the winner here. Nunes is behind this one. I wouldn't bet against him trying one at goal here. Nunes with a free kick towards the far post. 2 players rose. Neither contacted the ball. It's been a gripping contest. It's certainly not the flood of goals as we've seen in other parts of the country. There have been a lot of goals. In fact, I'm told already that 2 of the teams in the Group B have already racked up more than 4 goals. And, well, it's a bloodbath really at St. Augustine when Naparima, they've hit 5 already past St. Augustine, and I think they've added a couple more. In fact, I'm told it's 6 at Naparima in the first half. Wow, after going behind very early. So that's not a great start for St. Augustine. Certainly one of the marquee teams in the East. Here's one of the marquee teams in the South Zone. St. Benedict's College looking for the go-ahead goal. And it is Tyreek Lee who's drifted out of the game a little bit here. He needs to get back involved, re-engage towards the far post, and Miles can't keep it in. He had a much simpler chance earlier in this game, but missed his header completely. Lee has hit the bar also here for St. Benedict's College. And they've had a litany of chances in the second half, but only Brown with a really finely hit, a really fine hit from outside of the box has put them ahead. Oh, there's a great run here by Bailey, and finally they've gotten him under control. Benedict's like some tigers coming out to defense to make the stop. Bailey tries the back heel, but only finds Miles here, who's really put in a good shift down the left-hand side. That breaks kindly for Grant. Just inches away from tickling that past the defender. Here's Miles again. This will fall for Lee, and his control has deserted him for a moment. If this ends 1-1, I think the more disappointed team will be St. Benedict's College, because they've created more chances here. Fatima's passing game has just fallen apart here in the second half, as they've been out-muscled in the midfield by St. Benedict's College. Down the line, that's looked to be a good-looking ball there for Chavez, but he couldn't get in on the end of it. Bailey has had a lot of work to do on the right-hand side, but not much to write home about yet. Well, if you write home from this part of TNT, it might take a couple of days to get back to Fatima. We're in deep south here today in Moruga. 6 minutes and change to go here. Fatima looking for the go-ahead goal. They're down to 10, remember. Foul, and that will be St. Benedict's ball. They've restarted play. Referee has pulled things back, not taken from the right position. when football returned in 2020 after the COVID-19 pandemic. Immediately there were a spate of injuries. This one is not muscle related, the type of injuries you would see, cramp or anything. This was a knock to the back of the head. And so far, despite the heat that we've had here in Moruga and a really tough first half, there's been very few situations where we've seen players cramping up. And a lot of these players have played in that Tiger Tanks Under 20 tournament earlier this year, so they might be in a better condition, but it's not uniform in terms of the blooding or the fitness for all of these players, because a lot of these guys were not involved in that competition and not played the volume of matches for the year so far. Was the captain of St. Benedict's, by the way, Alexander, who did get the knock to the back of the head. He seems to be okay now. And the referee's just having a quick word with Nishan Alexander just to make sure he's okay, and he is. Dimas just beside him there, his fellow defender. So Alexander gets things started here. Last 5 minutes for Benedict if they are to go on to win this one, or for Fatima to pull themselves up by the bootstraps here to get the win. And they look very much capable of it. They have some very skillful fast forwards. And they have some fresh players out there. Don't forget Correa and Chavez have come in late in this game. That looked like a foul in Hospitales, and a quick apology from the St. Benedict's player. Hospitales, who looks like he's very, very tough. Looks like he could pull out a few trees, I could tell you. He accepted it with good grace, and they move on here. He and Miles have been involved in a ding-dong battle all the way through. Here is Lee. Finds Moraine on the far side. That was a good-looking ball, but well read by the defender. Here's Alexander. Moraine again. He has provided an alternative creative outlet coming out to the defense. He's hit some fine long balls and some medium-range passes. He's very accurate with his passing there. Moraine, the number 4 for St. Benedict's College, and talked about the fact that we haven't seen too many cramping situations, and here's one. As you could tell from the way it's being treated, that's cramped to the right leg. It's not comfortable at all, I can tell you. And the worst ones, as I was talking to co-commentator Colin Murray on Friday, worst ones are the ones that hit you in the night after you've had a tough day in the field. Yeah, it looks like the upper part of the left thigh. Yeah, he's just feeling it around. It does feel, if you've never had cramp, it feels like a knot inside of the calf. A few little salt tablets and sport drink to replace the electrolytes and the salts usually does the trick. And friendly massage does help also. Sean Rollo there doing the work, and seems to be okay. So temporarily now, Fatima are down to 9 men. Remember, they did have Atong sent off. So St. Benedict's, it's all in their favor now. The only thing that is not in their favor is time. Just 2 minutes of time remaining here for St. Benedict's College to find a way to get the 3 points here. Can they do it now? Miles is there. He has some space. Miles with the forward pass. Well, it seems that there's a call for offside on the fast, or just it was Miles who had strayed in an offside position. I'm not sure why the Fatima College keeper Tristan Edwards is hustling to get this one. A point would be a great performance for Fatima College, especially since they've played the last 28 minutes, last 18 minutes with 10 men. Benedict's. Here's Miles. Well, it's a shifty little player, but he gives it away, and Chavez just runs that over the line. That's going to be is that a free kick for St. Benedict's? Referee's just having a quick word with Miles here. I tell you what, she does have a no-nonsense approach, which I like. Heading out into the last minute of normal time here. How much time will be added on for stoppages? Hudson Charles looks at his watch. He knows that his team, if they can score here, will take the 3 points back into Port of Spain. The 2-hour drive into Port of Spain will be a happy one for Fatima College, but that's overhit. The hour drive, hour and a half I should say, to La Romaine might not be so happy if Benedicts don't get the 3 points here. They will feel slightly upset with themselves if they don't get it. Well, that's past Atherton and towards the near post, and certainly well handled there by Edwards. Just a dink towards the near post, which he does well to take away. Here's Miles. Lee breaks free. For a moment there, he thought he was free. I think he took that one, and there was some contact. Yellow card coming up here for Fatima College. Who's it going to be this time? Well, dangerous free kick here. We're now into time added on for stoppages. And the yellow card has gone the way of Johansi Atherton, the big defender at the center of defense there for Fatima College. Has found his name in the referee's notebook. Quite a few bookings in this game. The officials they haven't missed a lot. There was a fair amount of contact in the first half that went unpunished, but there haven't been too many untoward incidents here. And certainly the big talking point in this game will be the sending off of Jose Atong in minute 73, and then the disallowed goal that Keanu Moraine would certainly be telling everyone for the next 10 years at least that should have stood. But the official on the far side had spotted an offside situation. Moraine was in good shape, but I think it was the man who headed the ball back in towards him. That's Grant who was in the offside position. But all the same, if St. Benedict score from this free kick, it's going to be a very happy ride back to La Romaine. Not so much heading back to Port of Spain for the Fatima College team. They've put in a good shift here, and it could all be undone here by a moment of indiscipline just outside of the area. Or, put more correctly, a moment of brilliance by Tyreek Lee, who flicked the ball between the two defenders and was tripped up. Well, the man who has the ball at his feet, looks like Jeremiah Joseph is going to strike this one. It's Morris actually who's going to hit this one, and let's see. The keeper still setting up his wall. 5 in the wall. All hands on deck here for Fatima College. Morris could be the hero for St. Benedict's College. If he scores here, it's Morris! And saved! The goalkeeper does well. Certainly not hit with the venom that he would have wanted, but Morris gets it on target. And that is a fine save by Tristan Edwards, keeping his concentration well. Seemed to have a good read on it, Edwards. He was on the near post and then made the save at the far post. So covered the 24 feet very quickly and made the stop. Brilliant stuff there from the Fatima College custodian. Might have some more work to do here as St. Benedict's College looking for, he does have some more work, and he gets pounded for his efforts here. And Edwards has gone down, writhing in pain on the far side. And the St. Benedict's College player was sliding in to get the ball. Malachi Webb, it seems. There was no, he quickly apologizes to the goalkeeper. Great to see between the two youngsters. Yeah, it is the left leg, and that's where I think the studs may have contacted him. But Webb, certainly his eyes firmly fixed on the ball in fact. And the goalkeeper, ditto for him. He's come out the worst of it, but great to see the players just exchanging pleasantries before parting to go back to their respective camps. 4 minutes of time added on already, 1-1 here. And Fatima College looking good here. They want to slow things down as much as possible if they are to hold on to a draw and get the point. Edwards restarts play here. Fatima get it clear. Chavez knocks it in towards Correa. He was looking for his skipper, Bailey, on the far side. He doesn't get it. Here's Lee again. Really thought Lee may have been the candidate to take it, but obviously the free kick specialist is Morris. Benedict still trying to get clear, but look at the work put in here by Fatima in the midfield, just putting her upper body every time. He has the ball played in towards the near post! And Hospitalis did really well there to sweep that clear. He could have so easily put that into his own net and really handled that bouncing ball coming across the 6-yard box expertly to knock it away for a corner. That could have been him sweeping the ball into his own net and conceding the points here to St. Benedict's College. Still, it's 1-1. Not sure how much longer the referee is going to allow this to go on here. St. Benedict's taking their time with the corner. What's going on here? Are they not aware of the scoreline? Here it's been taken. When's the cross going to come in? Oh, they're giving it away. That's very poor from St. Benedict's College. No urgency at all. Now they start to press on the accelerator. Lee is there. Hospitalis gets it clear. Long ball forward. Fatima looking to snatch it late here. Well, Chavez was there, but it was too far ahead of him. Whistle is gone here, and that is all she wrote. Fatima College have come to Moruga, and they escape with a point despite playing the last 17 minutes, 18 minutes with 10 men. The coaches exchanged greetings here, and it's ended 1-1 at the Moruga Multipurpose Sport and Youth Facility. Kiba Romani put Fatima ahead in the 27th minute. Ephraim Brown scored in the 58th. That's after Tyreek Lee hit the crossbar. There were chances that fell to St. Benedict's College. It was Miles that missed an open header. Moraine put it into the back of the net, which was ruled out for offside. And a flurry of chances in the end for St. Benedict's, none of which they accepted. And it ends 1-1 here in Moruga. And that's all she wrote for this game. Coming up, you will see in the next round, St. Benedict's will face Karapi Chima at the Atto Bolden Stadium in their next game. As for Fatima College, they will face the defending champions Naparima College in what could be a pivotal early season fixture at Fatima College ground. And certainly we will hope that you will join us for these games. On behalf of the team, I'm Vidya Ramphal saying bye for now with the news. It's 1-1 between Fatima College and St. Benedict's College.